Welcome to a Coffee Talk with P3 special presentation. From now until September 19th, the Coffee Talk with P3 podcast is highlighting many of the theater and arts nonprofits participating in the Long Beach Gives Annual Day of Giving. Let's listen in to hear more from today's special guest.
Hi, my name is John Peterson. Welcome to Coffee Talk with P3. Today I'm here with a very special guest and friend as well. I've known for probably about 5 or 6 years. It's been some time. But I'm here with Stan DeWitt, who is the Executive Director and the Interim Artistic Director of the Long Beach Youth Chorus.
Hello.
Welcome, Stan. Good to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
So this part of our series is talking about arts organizations, of which you are part of one. How did you become involved in the arts, just in general?
Well, I've been a musician my whole life, I suppose. Majored in music at Cal State Long Beach. I loved Long Beach and decided to stay. And so I've been part of the Long Beach music scene for going on 40 years now. And when 2003, I assumed the position of Minister of Music at Grace First Presbyterian Church, which is the church at the Point, Los Coyotes and Studebaker. Been there for 20 years plus, which blows my mind. And in 2017, we were losing our children's music director, and we're looking for somebody new. And I talked to the personnel team at the church about maybe it's time to think of doing something different. Instead of just doing the same thing and doing something just for the kids in this church, because there weren't that many kids, why don't we do something for the community? And we ended up hiring a young man at the time who was coming to USC to work on a master's, who was a assistant director at Syracuse Children's Chorus. And when that became our obvious hire, I talked to them and I said, "That's it. Let's start a civic children's chorus." There's not one in Long Beach. Long Beach is like the 35th, 36th largest city in terms of population in the country. And it was the only one that I could find that did not have a significant children's chorus.
Wow.
I mean, obviously the school programs have choirs, but in terms of like civic for the city, there wasn't one. So we started it, and that was in 2017, and we've been going ever since, and we're entering our 8th season now. We had, before the pandemic, we had around 30 kids. Mid-pandemic, we were at 10. But this last season, we've been back up and we're close to 50 now. So it's been last 2 years have been a wonderful season of growth and change for the organization.
That's great. How did you get through the pandemic? I mean, there were 10 kids that hung in there. Obviously everything was virtual that you did with them?
It was, yeah, for about a year. Better part, well, I think it was maybe, yeah, it was because we ended our 2019-2020 season, we ended prematurely. We made one video. Then at the start of the next season, which is when we had 10, we made 3 or 4 videos with them, and it was just really difficult work, as you know. I mean, it was, I kind of have termed it as soul-sucking in a way, because it felt like it was hard. But in 2021, then we moved our rehearsal location from Grace First to St. Matthew's, which is 7th and Temple, because they were allowing they had a tent set up for outside masses.
Okay.
And they said, you can rehearse here, and then they even had tape X's on the ground where the kids could sit, and so we did like 3 or 4 rehearsals that spring, and then finally started the next season getting back together, and it's been kind of like a steady growth ever since then.
That's great. We all know that the pandemic brought on a lot of social anxiety. So hearing that you've grown from 30 to 50 with that right in the middle is great, because the kids need that so much.
Yeah, and what was interesting is that in that first year and a half after when we started coming back together, the kids have been through so much, and they really we sensed that they just were really struggling, like they wouldn't sing out. They were really mousy and quiet and not singing out. And then around the end of our 21-22 season, they started to come out of their shells again, and they started to kind of like be themselves, and they started singing out, and it was just really a beautiful thing to behold. So since then, we took our first tour last year, went down to San Diego for a long weekend, and they performed a couple times now with Long Beach Symphony, and we're performing this fall with Long Beach Chorale. So there's just a lot of energy and excitement now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really great that they have the opportunity to perform with seasoned singers and musicians. And
well, and as you know too, I'm sure that the outpouring of support from the Long Beach nonprofit community, but specifically the Long Beach arts community, for us has been really powerful and heartwarming. I mean, we had the first concert we ever did in 2017 was with Long Beach Chorale, and then the next season we sang with the symphony, and then with Camerata singers. So the support we've gotten from the arts community in Long Beach has been really, and I think a lot of it is just that they understand this is something that has been needed for a long time.
Absolutely.
So they're really supportive of it.
Well, I know you guys were definitely busy before the pandemic, because I tried to get you guys involved in our production of Evita for children's chorus, but you guys were just busier than heck, and so that's great. You know, just the opportunities themselves out there are fantastic. So if I was a parent or a child that wanted to become involved in Long Beach Youth Chorus, what's the process, if you will, to connect with the chorus and then to get involved, and then what do they go through?
It's really simple. Our website has the registration stuff directly on it. Just go to longbeachyouthchorus.org, and you can sign up your child there. There's also a link where you can just send a form if you want more information. If you don't want to not ready to register yet, you want to maybe come to a rehearsal and watch and see how it goes, that's fine. We keep our tuition really low. Right now it's $150 for the year, which means we have to subsidize by doing other things throughout the year, like Long Beach Gives, to really make that work. But part of our mission is to make sure that we could give every child the opportunity to do this. And then there's no audition. There's a placement audition, which basically just helps us figure out whether the child is singing higher voices or low voices, alto, or soprano, baritone, etc. But there's no audition. Our two choruses currently are Young Musicians Program, which is grades 2 through 5, and then the older group is Master Singers, which is from grades 6 through 12. Of the Master Singers, we do have an audition group called Chamber Singers that's a smaller group of 10 to 12 singers in that group. But other than that, both choruses are non-auditioned, and everybody's welcome. We'd love to have you. We're also sponsoring a chorus at the Intellectual Virtues Academy in Bixby Knolls Middle School. Last spring was the first time we did that, and we're going to be doing that again this fall. So if you have a kid at IVA and Bixby Knolls, then you can sing with us as well.
That's great. So you don't need any experience in choral arts whatsoever to become a part?
No, as a matter of fact, we've started last season with what we call our music mastery program, which is 45 minutes before rehearsal starts. Rehearsal for the older kids is 3:30 to 5:30 on Sundays. For the younger kids, it's just 4:30 to 5:30. But for 45 minutes before, we open up and let the kids come and they get training on how to read music, on music theory, on oral skills, on hearing, ear training, and those types of things. So really, our goal is to train our kids into how to be musicians, and so by that metric, nobody has to know how to read music when they come in, because we're going to teach them.
Mm-hmm. And for those parents who say, well, that's not really an education, there's math involved in music, there's science involved in music, there's English language arts involved in music.
Yeah.
It could be other than English if you're singing in a foreign language. But so I've been championing to change STEM to STEAM to add the arts into that.
Exactly.
I know a lot of schools and whatnot have implemented that, but it's really, and they don't realize they're learning, which I think is the best part,
Right.
because then they won't really fight against it as much.
Yeah.
It's something that they're passionate
Well,
about.
and the benefits of singing have been proven now, psychologically, physically, socially, like the ways it helps people just be better human beings. it's not a guess anymore. We know that that's true. So, and we see that in our kids.
So you've described the programming at Long Beach Youth Chorus, which is wonderful. If you were to kind of summarize the mission, vision of the chorus, how would you, if you had just a few seconds to say to somebody before they ran off to the next table at an expo or something, how would you grab them in and say, this is what we do, this is what we're here for?
We believe firmly that choral singing can make a huge difference in the life of a child. So our mission and our vision really is centered around making that opportunity available for every child in the region. There are some kids who go to schools that don't have a choir. There's some kids that are homeschooled. There are kids that maybe have a show choir, but they don't want to dance, and so they want to sing. And so we just want to make sure that every child has the opportunity to sing in a choir, because we know from personal experience what a difference it made in our lives and in the staff of the youth chorus and the board and the people who were involved in the chorus. So we just want to make that available for everybody.
Wonderful, yeah. I got started late in life in the arts. I went to a performing arts high school, but I was a piano major there. And my senior year, I auditioned for the Madrigal Singers and then for their glee club, if you will. Got cast in both of those, and that really kind of shaped who I am today. I still am close friends with a lot of those people, and it's easier to develop a bond and develop your social skills through that. So it's really, really important.
And I think too, being in a group like the Long Beach Youth Chorus is unique from being in a school choir, because in a school choir you're with the kids you see every day, and it's that small. And that's good. We actually believe that our mission goes hand in hand with Long Beach Unified School Districts and their choirs. But there is something different about getting to be with other kids from other parts of the city and seeing that, what you're doing is making an impact for the community, not just for your school, for your parents, whatever, but for the community, and doing things like singing with symphony or singing with the Long Beach Chorale or Camerata singers makes a big difference, because they get us feeling that they're part of something bigger than just whatever they're doing by themselves.
That's great. So we've talked a bit about the effects that being in a chorus can have on the youth and those involved. When your group goes out and performs in concerts for the community, and when you start to connect with the community, what do you expect and hope that the community will get from seeing your group perform for them?
A sense of joy, a sense of hope. I think, as we know, the world is not an easy place, and sometimes we stay involved in the arts because it just keeps us moving forward. It gives us a sense of hope. It gives us a sense of joy. Again, I keep using the same words, but I really feel like when people see our kids singing, when they come to P3 Theater Company's productions, when they do, Long Beach Symphony, whatever it is, that they're engaging with that sense of optimism and hope and joy. And I think that's why so many artists tend to be people that are, hopeful people. We're not a rose bunch. We tend to be pretty happy and joyful. And I think that audiences come for that reason. And I think seeing kids singing, doesn't get more joyful than that.
They don't hide anything. The kids are always truthful, and you can see that joy. I mean, you may keep repeating the word, but it's really the best word that there is.
Yeah.
You see that in them. They love it, and I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old niece that both just got solos with their school choir.
Nice.
So it was they asked me. They came to me for coaching, which was kind of fun. It was they actually sang "We Are the World." I was like, wow, it's okay. Don't hear that song very often anymore. So we've gone from talking about the kids getting involved to it to the community coming to see it. What if you say really enjoyed it? People may like to, I don't know, maybe support the Long Beach Youth Chorus.
Yes.
You mentioned that the tuitions are very low, which they are. When you said $150 for the year, I was shocked because that's ridiculously low.
Still too much of
but the production costs, as I also well know, can be very high. I mean, people don't realize you have to pay to rent venues. If there's any costuming involved, you have musicians, musical directors, producers, directors, all these people involved, and it doesn't come cheap. So, and ticket sales are a very minor percentage of revenue for arts organizations. What different avenues have you taken to help subsidize the?
Well, we're really working to build up our capacity to be able to provide more programming for our kids and our families, and it's hard. You're absolutely right. Our biggest cost is staff. Artistic director, a pianist, assistant director. We've been partnering with Bob Cole Conservatory, Cal State Long Beach, and hiring interns to work with our kids and they're music education interns, so they actually are gaining significant experience. But all that stuff adds up, and we charge $150 tuition, and we offer scholarships for kids whose family can't even afford that. But the truth is that the cost to run our programming is probably more like $500 or $600 per kid. So whatever support we can get from the community, Long Beach Gives has become one of our most significant days of the year. And beyond that, if you just go to our website, you can click on the donate button. You can make a donation one time, or you can sign up to be a monthly donor for $5, $10, $20 a month. Whatever support we can get that way is huge. And now's the time where we really are looking at, okay, this is going to be a long-term thing. You may be able to tell by my hair that I'm getting close to the age where I'm looking at, okay, what happens next? What's the long-term goal? And what is that transition going to look like for the organization? And really the answer is we need more support. We need more people that are willing to step up and make a difference for the Long Beach Youth Chorus.
And a little bit goes a long way.
It does.
It definitely goes a long way. And if you think about it, how much does a cup of Starbucks cost? Anywhere from $6 to $10. And that amount of money, maybe two Starbucks cups a month, can really go a long way for organizations. And recurring donors is very, very helpful to organizations such as ours, because you get that little tiny bit of extra income each month that you can kind of start to count on and build into your budgeting. And if 100,000 people do it, it certainly adds up. So it's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So what would you say? Do you have like a set season of performances, like a certain time frame that it runs every year?
Do. So our programming runs basically in concert with the school year. So we start in September. We basically end in May or June. We do have some summer programming that we do, but our concerts, our own concerts, are in December and then May. And then we have a cabaret, which is just solo performances, which happens sometime in the spring, usually February or March. And then the other performances, as they pop up, just depend on who asks us to perform and what they are. And this year we have the family concert with the Long Beach Symphony will be in October, and we're going to be singing with them. And the Long Beach Chorale concert is going to be in December as well. We just got an email this week from Queen Mary. They were there to sing at their big December thing. So,
cool.
Which would be really fun, I think. Yeah. So, it's anywhere from 4 to 7 performances a year.
Okay.
And,
And people can find out all that information from your website, correct?
Yep.
Great. And do you do season memberships or season tickets, or is it on an a la carte basis with each?
We actually, for the concerts we're just now, and it's funny you mentioned ticketing and tickets. We're just now starting to charge, to implement tickets for our concerts. So we're working all that stuff out. We've been doing just free will donation up to this point.
Oh, wow.
But we are going to actually have tickets starting now, and so I'll get back to you on that. I don't
Okay. One way or the other, you can get the information from
That's
it's
right.
longbeachyouthchorus.org. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. So that's great. So you've mentioned a couple times this wonderful poster behind me, Long Beach Gives. Long Beach Gives is, for those who don't know, it's a day of giving for the city of Long Beach and the surrounding areas, very similar to that of the Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's where the whole city comes together. You've got the nonprofit organizations such as ours that give back to the community, and it's the day where the public can get involved and help us continue to make a difference in the community. longbeachgives.org. But it is open, the website is open for early giving starting on the 12th of September as well. Long Beach Gives, the first year that they had such a fundraising campaign was in 2019. Were you involved that year?
I was, yes.
And you've been involved every year since.
I have been.
How has the annual campaigning been going?
It's gone up every year. Last year was our most successful. We raised over $8,000 last year. This year our target is 10. But it's funny. It's been actually one of those days where you do a lot of work preparing for it, and then when the day comes, the excitement is just kind of off the charts for everybody, for all the organizations that are doing this. It's really thrilling, and to see those donations come in, and just to, that moment when you hit your goal at 11 o'clock on Thursday night or whatever it is, and you're like, we did it. It's just because it's a recognition that people understand what we're doing, what you're doing, what all these organizations in the city are doing that are part of this campaign, and to be recognized that, we honor what you do. Here's some money. And that's a huge thing.
It's great. And it's a good time too, because of all the extra work you put into it. It helps build more awareness of your organization and the difference it makes in the community, getting out there. Not only, and that's one of the things I love about organizations such as yours, is that you've got the kids, which is they're our future. And you're involving them in musicality, and they're giving back to the community. So they're learning from a young age that they're getting to share their gifts, their talents. And even if they have no experience, they build that talent because you guys provide that education for them, which I love that little 45-minute before rehearsals to get them, so everybody feels equal when it comes down to it. And then you take that gift to the community, so the people in their own generation, as well as my generation and my parents' and grandparents' generations, can also benefit and reap the rewards of sung vocal music, choral music, which is amazing. Why would you say that giving back to nonprofit organizations such as ourselves, why is it so important for the community to become involved in something like that?
The nonprofits who make up the organizations that are part of Long Beach Gives Day, when you go in and you look at all of these organizations, was 200 something that were last year?
230 or something like that.
And when you look at what they do, it's astonishing that so many organizations, so many people are devoting their lives to making this city a better place. And, you know, whether it's in the arts, whether it's in animal welfare or homelessness or whatever it is, the importance that these organizations, all of them, are providing to the city is kind of incalculable. And I think having a day like this that focuses on that really enables people to step back and go, wow, this is really pretty amazing what these people are doing. So I'm hoping that they recognize the value of that, and I think they do.
I think so too, for sure. And we mentioned that there's about 230-ish organizations involved in Long Beach Gives, but if I remember correctly, the last statistic I heard is there are about 1,200 nonprofits in the city of Long Beach.
That's amazing.
So there's a lot more than just us out there, and they do cover everything on the spectrum that where any type of help or benefit is needed. It is amazing, and people look at those who help the homeless, help the people with disabilities, everything in between there. And I always wondered, okay, so we're theater companies, we're arts organizations. What difference do we make? Well, we certainly covered that with just bringing the joy, the love, the building of social skills, the confidence building, developing character, which, in my opinion, can definitely keep people off the streets, if you will, and just bring that happiness. So it's very, very exciting. So the funds that you raise through this being your biggest campaign of the year, does that tend to go toward a particular project or projects? You mentioned the staffing is a really large part of your budget, and are there any other areas that funding would be able to help support for the Long Beach Youth Chorus?
Well, I think the fact that we started our music education program, the music mastery program last year, is an example of the kind of programming that we can provide with increased support from the community. We weren't able to do that before because we just didn't have the money to be able to do that. Now, with the bump we got from Long Beach Gives last year and what we're hoping to get this year, that enables us to keep doing that. And I think just we're always going to be looking for ways to increase our programming, improve our programming, offer new things, and like the IDA school, the International Virtues Academy Choir that we started, those type of things, those additions to our programming are things that we couldn't do without the support from Long Beach Gives or from the community.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we'd like to thank Mr. Stan DeWitt of Long Beach Youth Chorus for joining us today.
I thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It has been.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen you, so it's definitely good to see you face to face. And if you'd like to find out more about the Long Beach Youth Chorus, again, the website is longbeachyouthchorus.org. We would like to also thank our sponsors, Buell Brown, our producer, who is with Stage Explorations, the nonprofit partnership for allowing us to use their facility for our filming purposes, and to the Long Beach Gives campaign, and all of the other nonprofits out there. You can visit longbeachgives.org to find out more about the Long Beach Gives Day and about the other arts organizations, including Long Beach Youth Chorus, P3 Theater Company, and other nonprofits as well in every area. You can filter by type of nonprofit. So if you like animals, you can look that up. Or if you like programs for kids, you can look that up. Anything you want, it's all listed there.
Or the arts.
Or the arts. Wink, wink. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Coffee Talk with P3.
Long Beach Theater needs your support. We hope you will consider donating on Long Beach Gives Day to all the theater and arts nonprofits that are participating in Long Beach Gives on September 19th. If you could donate to all the nonprofits participating with Long Beach Gives, that would be awesome too. Remember to mark your calendar and pass this date and video on to your work colleagues, family, and friends. Please support the Long Beach nonprofit community on September 19th. Go, 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 Long Beach Gives Day! To learn more about the Coffee Talk with P3 podcast and the nonprofit theater behind this podcast, go to the P3 Theater Company website at www.p3theater.biz. That's P3theatre.biz. And if you are a theater and arts nonprofit that would like to be highlighted on a Coffee Talk with P3 podcast, or you know a nonprofit that should be highlighted, please email me, John Peterson, at john@p3theater.biz. That's Jon John at p3theater.biz. We would love to start a conversation with you and your nonprofit. Looking forward to enjoying another coffee and discussion with you in the future. Long Beach Theater needs your support. We hope you will consider donating on Long Beach Gives Day to all the theater and arts nonprofits that are participating in Long Beach Gives on September 19th. If you could donate to all the nonprofits participating with Long Beach Gives, that would be awesome too. Remember to mark your calendar and pass this date and video on to your work colleagues, family, and friends. Please support the Long Beach nonprofit community on September 19th. Go, 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 Long Beach Gives Day!
Ba ba da ba ba.